As we sit here tonight, we call upon the sacred light of Source, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We call upon our spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, light beings, galactic guides, ancestors, nature spirits, and animal guides. We invite in Archangel Michael, Narsingha, and Hanuman to protect us in this space. And we also call upon the energy of Phi and the spider to weave a web of sacred geometry around our space for protection. We call upon Ganesh to open the path, and we call upon Thoth to open the gates to the Akashic records so that we may download knowledge and wisdom. Spirit guides, as we sit here tonight, we also call upon the beings of Sirius and the energy connected to the Lionsgate portal. We ask these beings and this energy to send us messages of healing, understanding, and knowing anything that we need to know in this moment for ourselves and also for the collective. Please allow us to understand this energy of the Lionsgate portal, its significance, especially to this number 8 year, and anything else you wish us to know in this moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, the sacred circle is now open. Namaste.
As you were opening, I could feel this sort of, it's as if I could feel energy or air or something being pulled down my throat and through my heart and back up out of my mouth. And it's forming this sort of infinity symbol, like this figure, I guess abstractly E almost, but as it's being pulled through my heart, it's going in as this sort of clear, white, gray air that vaguely looks like smoke. It's going through the heart, and when it comes out the heart, it looks like, I don't know if anyone's ever seen candy being made, like ribbon candy, where it's like white, but then it has all the different colors in it. It now has these swirls of colors being pulled up the way candy's pulled or taffy's being pulled, and it's coming out of the heart and back through the throat and creating this sort of like it's coming in one way, going through the heart and getting filtered out another way. And as I'm saying this now, I'm seeing all of a sudden a library, this huge, huge, huge library. Everything's very, very white. The floors, the shelves, the ladders that sort of slide across the library, but they go up so high. It's as if there must be 20 or 30 shelves of books, and there must hundreds and hundreds of rows after row. And I see this huge place, and it looks like a warehouse size sort of classical white library. It's almost like someone took a Grecian temple and turned it into a library. And I'm seeing that as I see these little people, and they seem tiny to me going up the ladders. They're climbing up, and as they reach the top, all of a sudden the ceiling is just like not there anymore, and I just see like looking at the night constellations, and then all of a sudden I see another sort of library, but instead of everything being white, it's filled with all of these colors of the rainbow and these pastel colors. And they're saying that the library of our records, our storage, our data, our transmissions, our frequencies are stored in our awareness. We're perceiving them one way, but we're about to understand them in a different way. So it's like we're being allowed to see things and understand and feel things that we haven't felt before. But it's like we're just seeing the room now. And this is a collective thing. This isn't like us here. This is like collective energy. This is like humanity. This is our ability to perceive all of our lives and everything that's ever been or will be differently. I just feel this like immense energy. And it's almost as if, as I'm saying this, everything that filtered through my heart, it feels like it opened up. Like all of a sudden I'm aware of all this extra space in there. So I'm gonna just kind of sit with this and understand what I'm seeing, because it's a lot right now. That's all for now.
Interesting, Dana, that you were saying about the infinity symbol in the beginning, because I was also seeing it, but I was seeing it as like a white infinity, but like over and over and over, kind of like a chain, making a chain and going vertically up. And there was a lion's head at the bottom. And it reminds me a little bit of DNA. There is an essence of DNA there. And like a DNA upgrade or something for us. And then I started to feel this almost like a tingling on the back of my head, kind of like almost at the, not quite the base of my skull, but a few inches before that. And so I tapped in and I'm like, what is that feeling? And there's a galactic guide behind me. And it's I want to say it's a man, but I really don't know if this being has a definitive gender. But anyway, he's maybe 5 feet and blonde hair, really very long blonde hair, and wearing some kind of kind of like a bandana, but it's more sleek than that, with a crystal on his head. And he's putting these, what he said were green fluorite crystals into my skull. And they're quite thick. Like I want to say maybe they're 1 by 1 inch crystals, and like in thickness, and then maybe 6 inches long. And they're glowing as well. Like it's fluorite, but it's like a glowing fluorite. And he's placing like at least 5 or 6 into the back of my skull. I have a feeling that it's connected to the heart chakra as well, but I want to sit with him for a little bit more and see what else he can tell me about this procedure. That's all for now.
As you were talking, Jacqueline, and you're talking about, I could see the crystals like being inserted. But for me, everything was like the minute it was inserted, it's like this blast of light that was like prismatic, and I could see it was clear light, but it was also rainbow light at the same time. And I heard Spirit say the chakras within the chakras, and as soon as I said that, I saw the heart chakra. It's almost like I was seeing a diagram, like a medical diagram, and they were showing me where the heart was, and then it was like zooming out on this little side thing that showed the heart, and it was showing within the heart chakra itself there being a chakra system. Um, and then I was just getting that same impression through the entire body, like anything we chose to zoom in. And they're showing me this because they're saying something about how we understand things and about the level of detail and understanding and knowing and awareness that we're going to be able to have on things is going to be um like if we thought something was complex, we're going to understand the true complexity of it. But because we're going to be able to see like the bigger picture of things and the layers within the layers and the chakras within the chakras, we're actually going to be able to understand and absorb and feel things differently. And it's going to be, it almost sounds overwhelming, but it feels like it's not going to be. It's going to be, it feels like there's going to be this big breath of relief to be able to see and understand how things are going together in a way that we didn't understand, because we're going to be able to see like how big we are and how small we are in this sort of equal balance. And I'm just having a moment where I'm feeling like I'm like humbled in front of this like huge, I don't even want to say galactic presence, but like I'm feeling some heartbeat of the universe or something from space, and I just feel like incredibly in awe of this massive presence. It's as if it's the universe itself is like living and breathing. Um, and if the whole thing is a collective consciousness, we are just like this tiny, tiny, tiny little piece of skin on its body, you know? But yet we're part of it. That's all for now.
So I wanted to share a little bit more about what this guide is doing. So first of all, Dana, like you said, there was the light, and it's funny because yeah, he said exactly that to me. He said, I said, what exactly are these crystals doing? And he said they're bringing in light codes. And specifically, he said light codes from past lives. And again, this is for all of us, not just me, um, and for the collective. But so they're bringing in light codes from past lives and like um, healing light. And so then I also felt him, and I can still feel it. He was started to go up to the top of my head, and he put two more sticks of fluorite in the top of my head. And he actually took like a little razor blade on the left side and kind of cut it open a bit. And I feel like that he was saying to make more space. Um, so that was really interesting. And someone, I just wanted to confirm this because someone put in the chat, um, and yeah, don't feel shy to share, guys. But someone put in the chat here that they were feeling itchy on their legs, and I'm also like, I can feel like him working on my head, and I'm also really like it's really itchy on my head. Um, so you're picking up uh the same energy. Um, but yeah, interesting light codes coming in. That's all for now.
I'm feeling called to say that what I'm feeling and experiencing and what I'm hearing and feeling in my own body right now, this sort of like, it's as if I can feel my heartbeat on the outside of my skin. I don't know how else to say it. It's as if my heart's not beating inside of my body, it's beating on my skin itself right now. And I'm feeling called to say that as we move forward on this journey, that part of how we move into the embodiment of this like energy, this consciousness, this new multidimensional awareness is that it's through our bodies. It's never about going beyond our bodies. It's about going literally through and into our body. That if we imagine outer space and we imagine all these faraway galactic guides, that they're also within us. It's as if like if we want to journey into space and beyond, that we go through our heart. We go through our stomach, we go through our eyes, our brain, our mouth, our throat. That anytime we're going somewhere, anytime we're doing something, we're going through our own skin, through our own body. That's the embodiment somehow. And I'm feeling just like I'm having a personal moment, and I feel like where I'm like I always thought it was about leaving the body, and it's I think it's really about embodying and owning the body. And it's like I just like I'm feeling this in my skin. I don't know how else to say it. It's really an interesting moment. I'm gonna sit with it, but that's all for now. I'm gonna share a personal experience that just happened right now. I'm in a house with 4 kids, and I just had to tell them to be quiet. And I went out there and I was like, "Look, you guys, like it's too loud." And I had asked everyone very nicely, to be quiet during the journey. And I went out there and I said something to them, and I felt this little bit of anger in my heart boil up. It's really bizarre, as if I saw almost like I saw a pot of pasta sauce like boiling. You know how when you cook it on the stove, it kind of has these little like bubbles that come up. And as I was asking them, I felt this anger come out of nowhere, and it just like boiled up out of my heart. And then I saw all of this sort of red sort of explosion happening across the wall of this cave. And I knew I was seeing something within my own body. I was seeing like a experience I had, and the sort of like anger I felt is uncharacteristic for me. It usually takes me a while to get to that point where I experience that kind of anger. Um, and I felt like it's connected to the embodiment of the body, like sort of like spirit was showing me some cave or something located in my own heart chakra. Um, and once that sort of burst, I was just feeling this sort of moment of like this sort of like trigger or something came with it, like this like little burst of red that exploded within my heart with like some form of shame or something I'd been carrying, connected, I think, with the notion of maybe just connected with speaking and with the fact was asking some people who were having a good time to be quiet. And I just felt how my own voice was connected to my heart and just seeing that interplay. And I'm not really sure what I'm working through right now, but it's very interesting. I can feel it really strongly across my heart and my chest and my um thing. And I think that part of going through the body means the sort of shadows that are going to pop up as we're on this journey. And I think we're going to have to bubble and boil over and just kind of deal with. Okay, well, thanks for listening. That's it for now.
Dana, as you were talking, I was seeing this woman, and it's funny because it, for me, also feels a little bit personal. Like, it feels like this woman is my great grandmother or great great grandmother, maybe also, but definitely an ancestor. And I can see my grandmother's kitchen, where I know her mother lived here also, and I'm just seeing her banging this wooden spoon against this pot in the kitchen and like so angry and yelling. Um, that's really all I was getting, but I felt it really strongly, and I think it's interesting that it also came to me in a personal way, but I feel that energy for sure. That's all for now.
I could feel her anger too as you were sharing that, Jacqueline. I felt like I could hear the spoon. It was like a wooden spoon. Could hear it against metal. Um, and as I was kind of listening to that and feeling that and sort of feeling like my own, I guess there's no word other than my own shame of like having to, say to kids like, please keep it down. And then realizing, well, no, I'm not maybe being unreasonable, but I don't know why, like, I have to really, like, work through that. It's just really bizarre. And then all of a sudden I saw this sort of like, I was in, like a ride or something, and there was this swan boat, and it was like the kind where two people could get in and sit, and I'm in this boat, but I'm by myself, and it's on a waterway, and I'm going through all of this like forest, and there's all of this like red backlit to the ride, and basically on this sort of swan going through something like the tunnel of love or something, and I'm on this boat by myself, and I'm sailing out of my own heart, and I'm just like sitting with this shame, and then I'm like, it's okay. And as I'm saying it's okay, all of a sudden I'm seeing on the swan, it turns like into this sort of like morphs more into a boat, and there's a pirate flag flying, and I'm just like coming out of it, and I'm like, it's okay. It's like it's okay for you to have to ask for what you need and expect other people to be able to meet you and reasonably listen. Um I don't know. I'm having a very personal experience now. But I can just feel all of this energy just flowing out of my heart as if I'm releasing something through this experience, which I know is seemingly in the scope of everything, small and trivial moment for, someone to tell children to be quiet, but I feel like I'm really releasing something right now. Um, and it's connecting very much to the messages we're sharing and receiving about as we seek to let things in and to understand and to heal and go on this journey, it's always about the releasing and balance. And there's just a real feeling of the body and physicality connecting with that tonight. And I can literally feel the whole vibrations through my body now. It like starts from my heart, but my whole body is vibrating. That's all for now. Spirit's showing me a classroom, and it looks like a sort of one room school, like pioneer time type of classroom. And there's desks that are attached to these like wrought iron chairs, and everyone's sitting in it, and well, it's all of us, but there's other people there as well. And there's a chalkboard in the front, and there's like a sort of like almost like the kind of podium like a preacher or something would preach from. And everyone's sitting there, and all of us are sitting there in the chairs, and instead of being instructed using the blackboard and being talked to, we're all just feeling our bodies, like, and this sort of energy that I'm feeling in my body, variations of it are going through everyone else's body, and they're similar but different. And I feel like I'm centered in my heart right now, but other people might be centered in a different area of the body that needs healing. And it feels like it is definitely connected to past lives, but it's about taking the perception of a past life and moving it into a multidimensional awareness. So it's not like we're seeing what happened to us in that life through our heart or through our knee or our foot or wherever we are in our body, but we're feeling it so deeply that we're almost partly in that moment again. And it's about just everyone sitting in the room and healing together and feeling, just allowing ourselves to feel through our bodies, where we don't almost need words or instructions or manuals, but we're just really allowing ourselves to feel what we're feeling without like shame or judgment or um, confusion or frustration or anything, but just really feeling into what we're feeling and understanding the language of that and not suppressing the honoring of that, or the judgment of it, or any of those things that come across with it that we all do to ourselves every day, multiple times a day, sometimes, and how that's like a big part of this integration and healing journey. And like, that's the portal, that's the vortex, that's the shift. That's all for now.
So also I wanted to share, um, Dana, you were saying something about like feeling this energy, and I'm sitting here and I'm just getting like waves of energy throughout my body and like a little bit cold, but also I don't know, it's a really intense feeling. And I've been drinking a lot of water, which I haven't been drinking water, um, enough water the last few days. And I drank some ayahuasca last night. So I don't know if that's like activating in my body and like making it feel this way, but yeah, it's just like coming in waves of like this really intense energy like throughout my body. And then I also saw my spirit guide. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you now, but we lost you for a quick
Okay,
moment.
okay, sorry guys.
It's
Not
okay.
great, not great and an internet tonight. But yeah, anyway, I was just saying like my spirit guides put me in this like bubble basically all over my body of this jelly-like substance. And then when I went to like touch it, I noticed it was this jelly, right? And it's clear, but then I looked closer and it feels like it's its own galaxy. And they told me that I'm in there in order to heal. And they said something specific, but now I don't remember exactly. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. But yeah, it's just for this healing, and it's like I feel like we're all being placed like individually and then also like a collectively on the earth in this bubble, in order to heal. And like I said, it's like its own galaxy. It's I don't know how to explain it better than that. But there's so much energy, energy and vibration in there, and healing light, and I feel like some kind of healing atoms they're saying to me. Um, and now that I'm kind of thinking deeper, I think that actually I think it's maybe a little bit of both, the ayahuasca and then this like bubble. It's like almost like being electrocuted for like an electroshock for a second. That's kind of how my body is feeling. And I think it's just this energy that's coming in with the Lions Gate, and then also um, I feel like yeah, there's definitely some kind of upgrade here happening in various ways. But yeah, that's all for now.
My visions have been going back and forth between playfulness and like water, from seeing children playing to seeing people in water, um, playing in water, working in water. I had a vision of some playing cards, and I was shifted over into seeing some woods appear out of my peripheral and a path going down. And this path led to like this lake. And that's all for now.
I felt as if when you were sharing, I could see this sort of like lake, and it was almost as if your path down was on a slight incline. And it's as if I could see as you're walking, spirit putting down these giant playing cards that were maybe the size of like a bath mat or even bigger than a bath mat. And they were but they were soft and sort of like a rug, like the material a bath mat was made out of, but they also looked like playing cards, and they were putting them down. But I could hear this sort of slapping of the card on the ground, and I was reminded of this game I used to play with my brother when I was younger called War, where you would put cards down, and if you had the same card, you would have to spell War out and see who had the card with the highest value. And we used to get so into it that we used to like yell and scream, and we're just having a really good time. I think it's interesting that that memory is coming forward, and the cards are there in connection with this sort of like underlying current of like playfulness and kids and I don't know, it's interesting, but I can almost see spirit putting these cards down for you as a sort of like following the path forward, like you're stepping where the cards have been laid or something, like you're walking the path towards, I don't know, there's something about like getting to the river and like a moment of being at the river and a form of sort of not in a religious way, but a form of a sort of like rebirth or baptism or blessing by the water, or like a way to be like cleansed or something. It feels like you're walking towards this like clearing and just like soaking in the river. That's all for now. I know I said that was all, but spirit is showing me dandelions. But like a dandelion, but then when you pick it up, it looks like that little like I don't know what it's called when a dandelion turns to white fluff. I know there's a name for it. Um, and they're giving you the flower, but as soon as you take it, it's a thing you can blow on and make a wish. Um, And I can see all of those tiny little bits like being blown into the air and carried away like over the river and over the forest, and like it's being released, something's being released into the universe. And now is the time for you to like make that wish. I don't know, to blow what you want into the universe. That's all for now.
I'm feeling a lot of pressure in my head, in my crown area, even towards like almost like the base of my skull, and I'm seeing there's a cleansing, energetic cleanse going on. I'm seeing energy um, being extracted and going into the heavens, and I'm feeling a lot of energy, not energy, a lot of pressure, more so at the base of my skull as this energy is being released. That's all for now.
As you were sharing that, I felt like I could see flour going through a flour shifter. You know how sometimes when you have to do baking, they ask you to shift the flour or sift it rather before you use it. I guess because I don't know why, I'm not a huge baker, but I'm seeing that happening as it's going through that area at the base of your spine. It's as if it's going through a flour sifter, and all of the energy is being like sifted through again as it's leaving. And what's so interesting is I'm feeling a grandmother energy, which is kind of what Jacqueline had earlier, but the kitchen is like a symbolic of sort of like cooking and manifesting and shifting and baking and making things. And she's feeling like she's symbolic, not so much of like individual grandmothers, but as like a universal sort of like divine feminine grandmother energy, um um presenting herself as sort of like, you know, wise sort of medicine woman crone sort of capacity. um and she's just kind of holding space for us and helping us to filter these things through and out of our body, and saying as we're filtering things out, we should be thinking about what we want to come in, what we want to bake or make or whatever. That's all for now.
I'm feeling like this, almost like this purring energy. It's very subtle. And the closest I can connect it to is like a cat's purr, like when the cats get into that vibe where they almost start like massaging their paws on you and that little vibration starts coming out of you, out of it, excuse me, out of the cat. And I'm feeling in my body different points. It's almost like there's a temporary pain, like it was in my elbow and it was in my neck. And I'm seeing energy being released, or these blockages, whatever it is, being released at the same time as I'm feeling. I'm not hearing it. It's like I'm feeling like this purr, like this, whatever that is that cats do, that vibrational thing, just rippling through my body. And it's very soothing. It's very relaxing. It's because it's so subtle. That's all for now.
Hearing you say that and talking about the cat's purr, I feel like it allowed me to move into this really sort of calm, healing place. Like I feel so much calmer, and it's like I can almost like hear the sound, like the vibe, because like when a cat purrs, you hear it, you feel it, it's just it's like it does it with its whole body, you know. Um, and I feel this sense of peace washing over me. Um, and the last little remnants of like whatever that anger flare up was in my heart, I don't feel it anymore. Like I feel much more relaxed. Thank you. That's all for now.
I was just checking in with my guides, these galactic beings who were around me, to see if they were still here. Because I kind of felt the energy a little later, and they were done doing whatever they came to do. And they said to me, I wrote it down, they said, "We are with you always. Bless your souls." And I feel like these are, again, Acturian beings. That's all for now.
I'm seeing this space now, and it's very white, but it's like basically it isn't, but it's reminiscent of a candy shop. And I'm seeing walls of like glass jars that kind of look like bell jars, and jars with like put it things with lids you take off that's all clear glass filled with all different types of candy. There's like the ribbon candy I was seeing earlier, but it's like made, and it almost looks like Venetian glass candy. I'm seeing like taffy in jars. I'm seeing jawbreakers, like all sorts of licorice. Those little like pastel colored things that look like pills that are like French licorice. You see jars of them. And I feel like this is similar to the Akashic Library type of place I was seeing in the beginning, but it's all different candies, and it's like the idea of like what we ingest and bring into our bodies. And this isn't even about food or eating, it's like about energy and healing and light. And like as we let things out, we have the capacity to bring in color and light and sweetness. Like it's a metaphor for sweetness and love and things that taste good and feel good and do good. And I can just see like this is a candy shop, but it's also like a intergalactic, multi-dimensional candy shop or something like that. But the candy's really light and love and frequency. And it's interesting because I vaguely feel it connected to some form of like ship or like floating something outside of the Earth's atmosphere, but that's like really vague and around the edges. But it just feels like it's like energy that's slowly moving um into our world. That's all for now. And for me, the sort of beginning of it in the library and the ending of it in a candy shop, I definitely feel a lightening in the energy and the presence of spirit. And I feel like I'm starting to work myself out of the place that I was in. But I feel like there's so much that kind of came through for us in this really interesting way this evening. It feels like it's just, I can see it just processing through the bodies, like literally processing through our bodies and integrating itself.
I'm also feeling that lightness in the body and in the energy, and much more fully grounded in my body now. One second.
I'm feeling if anyone else has anything, I'm feeling called to ask if anyone else has anything to share or bring through before I close the circle.
I'm just seeing swan, like picking up on like swan energy. There's a swan presence, and still like that gentle, soft, gentle energy. That's all.
Yeah, there's almost a transformative quality to them, you know, like I think
I feel like I'm floating, just floating like when you go swimming in any body of water and you're just kind of like just laying there floating on the surface of the water. That's just how I feel. And like you're not being bothered, you're just laying there like floating. That's how I feel. That's all.
that's a really beautiful imagery, and I think it's like a really good reminder for all of us, like, you know, they glide through life on the water, right? They just there's like no resistance or struggle. They're just like oh, I've got some swan medicine. I'm gonna go ahead and close then. Um, we are eternally grateful and deeply thankful to all spirits and eternal light beings who joined us tonight. Thank you for the wisdom and knowledge you shared, the guidance you provided, and the gifts you gave us. We ask for your continued guidance in the coming days and weeks as we work to integrate the messages delivered for further awareness and healing. Help us to release any energy that's not of our highest and greatest good to carry as we shed what no longer serves us. And may we be refilled with the eternal sacred love of Source. May the great divine white light of love shine down onto us and into us and inform all of our days and all of our decisions. May we feel the eternal balance of the universe of the sacred divine feminine and divine masculine. May we make more space and be energetically cleansed so we can heal, understand, know, and integrate the light codes from past lives into multidimensional awareness. And may we honor and integrate the feelings that our bodies bring forward for us. May we be refilled with the soothing divine love of Source, of the universe. And may we, like the cat's purr, just feel that and be it and embody it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, the sacred circle is closed.